Hey, it's your boy Wiener here today with another video. I just want to talk real for a second, right? About sales, remote closing, and my motivation to do this in the first place, right? Look, I didn't even know remote closing was a thing. I grew up thinking with the traditional way of thinking that you had to go to school, grind it out, work for somebody else until you're old. You know, if I would have known about this sooner, I probably would have started when I was 15 or something like that. And ironically, I just recently saw a video, an Instagram reel, a guy closing. This guy was like 17 years old, closing a married guy. It's crazy, like how soon these people are starting to sell, and closing deals and making more money than people twice their age, right? Obviously, sales isn't just a job for me; it's like my way out. Obviously, I want to compete at the highest level in life and everything that I do, right? But let's be real, man. Like, if you can make enough money, right, you can like outsource. You can delegate things to buy back your time. Like having a maid, so you don't have to do chores or anything like that. So you can just focus on the things that give you the most ROI and the things that make you feel the best or where you're gonna get the most energy back, right? Live for example for me would be getting a maid, living close to the stadium where I weightlift every day, and that itself would save me so much time on a daily basis that I can give back to work, to the things that just makes me incredible, which is like music, weightlifting, and just working. Just do that, right? And it's just crazy because I also saw another Instagram video of a guy like, hey, would you work night shifts to make $3,400 a week? Like, no, screw that. You can make that much money completely remote and without having to do night shifts, right? If I can make at least like 1,500 a month, I could start just living that lifestyle I just mentioned. And for most of my life, I thought that I was in the right place, right? And for some reason, God didn't let me go back to the states, and I always, ever since I was growing up, I always thought that I might have been in like the wrong place. But as I grow older, as I keep leveling up, as I keep getting more experience, the more I realize that I'm in the place where I'm supposed to be, thanks to everything that have come before me. But what I mean by that, like Colombia is like food is amazing here. Food is like super cheap. Living here is like way cheaper, and you can live like a king here for like way less money, right? I know that making 10K in the U.S. might be money, but over here you can just you're a millionaire with that much money, basically, right? And something that just messes me up is that recently I started closing at this company, right? And I had experience with these two closers that they hired. I was appointment setting for these people, right? And I just feel like these people are weak, man. These closers are weak because they just sit and they wait for the deal to fall into their lap. Meaning to no show, they don't give a call. They just give up. You're like, bro, I double down everyone. I chase every deal. I hustle, and luckily I'm able to close because of that, right? I just feel like that some closing sales is just about having hunger, and like just most people just don't have it, right? I just feel like you just gotta be hungry, man. You gotta be passionate in what you do, especially if it's sales. Remote closing is the vehicle, but you are the engine, right? And I believe selling is like the ultimate meritocracy. What I love about sales, especially remote closing, is that it doesn't care where you're from, it doesn't care about your background, your accent, your connections, whether you come from a rich family, poor family, what country you're from. The only thing that sales cares about is whether or not can you sell. Are you actually getting results? That's the only thing that matters, right? You could be from anywhere in the world, any situation, and if you're hungry, if you're willing to outwork the people, you can win. Because sales is like the only game like that where you can literally change your life just by your own ability. Maybe if you have like a big network, get on better offers, and it might make it easier. But even if you start from zero, just in my case, that I come from no background, no connections, no people, no nothing. If you have that hunger, you develop real skills, you make real connections, networking, you can just outwork anybody and just like triple your income by doing so. Sales is just wonderful, right? And also something I wanted to touch base was, I don't know. I just can't see myself sitting around. I'm just not hardwired like that. I'm more like live fire. If I'm not in the game, I just feel like I rust. I feel like that I have to improve every day, 1%, 2%, how much whatever how much I train or how much I practice every single day. Or else I just feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like I'm not progressing. I feel like I have to be in the game to constantly be progressing towards my goals, to be improving, to doing everything that I want to do, right? Whether that's like building my own pipeline, making things happen. Because sales is about creating opportunity. Is about creating your own luck. Is how I would define sales, right? And I think that's what's gonna separate a great closer from order takers, right? I'm just new. I just recently started closing, but my mind just exploded because closing opens up a whole new level of worldly opportunities and just makes anything and everything possible. And obviously, it opens a whole new world of how much you can make in income. And that allows you to dream, right? Because obviously, we're not gonna lie. If you have money, you can support your dreams. You can support yourself, even your family. Whatever you want to do with that money, you can do with confidence, right? In my case, I want to perform at the highest level. I just want to buy back my time. Sales can do that. If you're a good closer, and the better you are, man, the more you're gonna make. Right? It's just directly tied to your ability to sell. And yeah, I just don't. I don't know why. I just can't stand still. I just can't stand still. I just can't be sitting on my lap waiting for opportunity to sit down. Even if I did get inbound opportunity, I just see myself just hustling it out. I don't know why. Maybe because I come from a background, of hunger. I used to work as a mover, right? And I just know that everything comes in by seasons, right? I used to work for a mover company, like literally here in Colombia, moving stuff, and I think the company relied just on referrals. And everyone knows how inconsistent your clientele can be if you're just relying on referrals, relying on that single source of clients. So like you can have a really good month, and then the next month it can just be famine, right? So I don't know. I think I got that from just working hard, just sweating it out here in Colombia. That hustle, right? That hustle of like, every time there's an opportunity, man, I'm not gonna put it to waste. I'm not gonna postpone it. I'm gonna take advantage of every moment and make it my best. Because you never know when the pipeline can slow down. You never know when the next opportunity is gonna come through, right? And if you can have a pipeline and also create your opportunity, man, you're more valuable to yourself. You can make more money, and you're more valuable to your company and those around you. Right? And it's hard for me just to sit down and wait for things to happen. I don't know. I once read a quote that said that entrepreneurship is a definition of knowing where you're going, progressing toward what you want, but not being happy enough with the rate of what you're like, how fast you're achieving that. And I think that's me, man. I mean, I'm grateful. I've taught myself to be grateful, to be patient, to meditate, everything, all that, man. But you just want to keep going. And once you get dipped into this game, you just want to go all out, man. You want to do your best, just make the most of every moment, make the most opportunity, close the most deals. And it's a motivation, man. Just to keep going, keep producing. Because it's a real life changer. Right? And I think right now, today is the right moment into the world that we have been born into. With these opportunities like this that didn't exist, for our parents. Remote closing is just miraculous. Just like imagine being at the beach, wherever in the world, and be able to make 10K, even more, just by selling. And that's all I want to say. Wiener Dog out.